The rain had stopped, but the city still smelled like wet dust and regret when the rich man stepped out of his black car. He didn't notice the woman sitting on the pavement at first. Most people didn't. She was wrapped in a thin shawl, hair matted by rain, eyes lowered as if the ground itself had taught her not to look up anymore. The man adjusted his cufflinks, glanced at his watch, and walked on. Then a small hand slipped out of his, tightened its grip, and a child's voice, soft but unshakably certain, said, "A broken bar, that's Mum." The man froze. The world, which had always bent neatly to his will, stopped bending. He turned slowly, annoyed at first, then confused, then suddenly afraid. "What did you say?" he asked, laughing in that polished way rich men laugh when they want to sound relaxed. His son didn't laugh. The boy was staring at the woman on the pavement with wide eyes. Eyes that looked too much like his own had once looked at her before money taught them how to narrow. "That's my mom," the boy repeated. "I know her." The man's name was Ian Malik, and for the last 10 years, he had built his life on forgetting. He owned glass towers and private jets, spoke in boardrooms that smelled of leather and power, and told himself that everything he had lost was necessary for everything he had gained. He had convinced himself that some people were simply left behind by life, that poverty was a consequence of poor choices, and that looking away was not cruelty but deficiency. He had said all of this so many times that it had begun to sound like truth, but the woman on the pavement shattered that truth with a single glance upward. Her eyes met his, and in them was a recognition so sharp it hurt. Not hope, a recognition, as if she had always known this moment would come, even if it came too late. Her name was Sarah. Once, she had been the center of his world. Once, they had lived in a one-room apartment with a leaking ceiling and dreams so big they laughed at them together. Ian had been brilliant and ambitious, always planning the future. Sarah had been steady and warm, believing that love itself could be a future. When she got pregnant, he promised her the world. When his first big opportunity came, a wealthy investor who wanted him to move cities, start over, cut distractions, and told himself it was temporary. He told himself he would come back for her. He told himself many things. What he didn't tell himself was how easy it would be not to return. The calls became fewer. The money stopped. His name changed from struggling entrepreneur to rising star, and somewhere along the way, Sarah became a chapter he closed without rereading. He married later briefly and divorced quietly. When his son Adam was born from that short-lived marriage, Ian told himself fate had given him a second chance. He never asked where Sarah had gone. He never asked what became of the child she carried. Until now. Sarah tried to stand, then stopped. Pride had left her years ago, but dignity still fought quietly inside her. "I didn't plan this," she said, her voice hoarse. "I never wanted him to see you like this. I never wanted you to see me at all." Adam stepped forward before Ian could speak. He knelt in front of her, ignoring the wet pavement, ignoring his father's shock. "You used to sing to me," he said softly. "I don't remember the words, but I remember your voice. I thought it was a dream." Sarah's hands trembled as she reached out, then stopped, afraid to touch him. Tears slid down her face, cutting clean lines through the dirt. "I looked for you," she whispered to Ian. "After you disappeared, I worked wherever I could. When I got sick, everything fell apart. I didn't know where else to go." People were staring now. The rich man felt something he hadn't felt in years. Shame, hot and undeniable. He wanted to wave the car over, end the scene, fix it quickly with money. But Adam stood up, turned to him, and said the words that finally broke him. "If you walk away again, Dad, don't take me with you." That night, Ian didn't sleep. Memories he had buried clawed their way back. He remembered Sarah's laugh, the way she used to believe in him when he didn't believe in himself. He remembered promises made with no understanding of their weight. And for the first time, he understood that success had not erased his past, it had only given it a louder echo. The road back was not easy. Sarah didn't forgive him quickly. She didn't thank him for the apartment he arranged or the doctors he paid for. Healing is not impressed by money. It demands time, humility, and truth. Ian had to sit with discomfort, with anger, with the reality of the life she had lived while he climbed. He had to listen, really listen. Adam became the bridge between them. The boy asked questions adults were afraid to ask. He held Sora's hand in hospitals and held Diane's hand in public, forcing him to see the people he used to ignore. Through his son's eyes, Diane began to understand that wealth meant nothing if it taught you to look away from human pain. Months passed. Sora grew stronger, not just physically, but in the way people do when they are finally seen. Diane changed too. He funded shelters, yes, but more importantly, he showed up. He learned names, he listened to stories. He stopped treating kindness like a transaction and started treating it like a responsibility. One evening, as they sat together watching Adam play, Sora looked at him and said, "You can't undo what happened, but you can decide who you are now." That choice became Ian's real inheritance to his son. If this story touched your heart, don't look away like Ian once did. Like the video, subscribe to the channel, and share it because sometimes the smallest pause, the smallest act of compassion, can change an entire life. And sometimes, the person we ignore today is the truth that will stop us tomorrow.